Hey friends, Ruben Tech back here. Today we're going to talk about the Waymo advantage with LiDAR. Now last week I put this video out, and as you can see, for me it was actually a pretty good video. It did very well. I think people are really interested in LiDAR, so I thought I would talk a little bit more today about some of the things that LiDAR has. So if you haven't seen this video, I will link to it down below. What I do in this video is I take an M1 iPad Pro, which has a LiDAR based system for facial unlock, and I compare it to the Google Pixel 9 Pro, which only has cameras and AI. And of course, the Apple system does better because LiDAR is more effective at seeing objects overall than cameras and AI. And that would be, and what I show in here is in the dark, right? The LiDAR is not dependent on the light. So first thing I want to talk about is some people were wondering, can LiDAR work in adverse weather conditions? Well, obviously it can. This is a picture of LiDAR working in very heavy rain. You just saw that sign go by. Here's the cars around it. Here's the signs. Over here, you can actually see the trees. Okay, you can actually see a car come up over here behind the trees. The LiDAR can map all of this. It's absolutely just amazing. This video came out 5 years ago from Bob Wang. He works, I believe, at Google. He was releasing a lot of this. He might have worked at Waymo, or he knew someone that did, but he released a few of this. So he has a version 2 of this and a version 3. And so this is just showing the data here. You can kind of see the light posts and everything. I mean, this is absolutely amazing, right? And remember, this is 5 years ago. You might say, how is this possible? Well, because they develop algorithms to reduce the noise from such things as rain and fog. And so when you have a camera-based system, it's virtually impossible for it to operate in fog because the fog obliterates everything that it can see, just like it does your eyes. However, with LiDAR, the LiDAR is able to penetrate. Some of it's still able to penetrate, and they are able to read the data that does get back, and using machine learning language, using ML, machine learning, they are able to come up with these models that are extremely effective at drawing up where the objects still are. And again, the name of the game with LiDAR is object detection. It does not need to read a sign, things like that. That's what your camera-based systems are for. LiDAR just needs to know, hey, there's a deer in the middle of the road. Okay, I'm going to show this again. Hopefully you're not sensitive. Maybe I should give a warning, right? This camera-based system, the Tesla, I do think if this deer was moving, it would have recognized it. But apparently it wasn't trained on a deer's rear end. It does not know it. And you can tell it has no idea what happened because it drives right through it. You might ask, where was the driver? Well, obviously the idiot was on his phone. Okay. But here's another thing too. I would think that Tesla should update the algorithm so that if it ever feels an impact like this, it needs to slow down. It should have slowed down after this. Okay. And the fact that it didn't, that actually to me is the worst part. This is terrible. This is terrible because if this was a kid, this small child would be dead. So this is absolutely terrible. But I'm just astounded that it doesn't even slow down after it does it. So it means they have no impact sensors, no idea of anything like that. It doesn't even know, okay? LiDAR would never do this. LiDAR is more, you could say LiDAR in a way is more like touch than it is sight. It's sending the lasers out and they're touching the object. It comes back. It knows the exact distance and the exact size of the object. That's why I keep saying it knows physicality. Okay, so it knows what the object is, right? It can touch it, feel it. It knows exactly. So when you see, even when this deer is out here in front of the lights, way out in front, okay, the LiDAR is still seeing it because the LiDAR can see 300 meters away. If you're driving a lot in Waymo, they can see 300 meters all around you. Okay, and in school, I learned you stay about 100 meters behind a car. And the idea was you go about 70 miles an hour. You want 3 seconds in order to act if something happens. So if you need to take evasive maneuver or if you need to stop, you have your reaction time and then the time to do it. You want to be at least 3 seconds behind a car at 70 miles an hour. And we can see 70 miles an hour is 31 meters a second. You'd want to be at least 100 meters. I'm rounding up here. Actually, I answered be 93, but let's just say 100 meters. And the LiDAR can see 3 times that, okay? Which I want to show you this. This is the Tesla FSD. This is from a few years ago in Minnesota, hitting this deer, just plowing right into it. Now look at this. The deer is right there. It's on the edge of where the headlights can see. But guess what could see this right here? The LiDAR could. The LiDAR would know there is a physical object. And as soon as it started moving, it would be able to calculate, hey, this physical object's moving, and it would be able to react. Tesla FSD is not able to. And my guess here is that the Tesla FSD just didn't have the time before it actually recognized it, because I have seen it evade other deer, but typically it's when it sees it for a while longer. Here in this one, I do believe the issue with the FSD is that the deer is kind of on the cusp right there. It's not moving or anything. It's just standing there, and then its last second starts moving, boom, 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 and plows right through it. Now, a lot of you guys out there, listen to me. If you haven't lived in a rural area, you have no idea of how dark it gets at night. Headlights are not sufficient, even for human beings. If you live where I live, then virtually almost everybody has hit a deer out here who's driven at night. And it's because they will be out in the areas that you cannot see with your cameras, or sorry, with your eyes. Okay. In this dark areas over here, let's go over here. They'll just dart out from here. That happens all the time. This is pretty common, but more common is the thing just darts right out from over here in the right. You know, you'll be paying attention, driving really good, like most people do at night around here because it's terrible. And they'll just dart right out from in the dark, okay? Literally. And then you got a split second to react. I mean, if that. Right? Because they're coming and they run pretty darn fast, like 40 miles an hour, 35, somewhere around there. They run pretty fast. So LiDAR is able to see that. LiDAR doesn't need the light of the headlights. It can see, oh, there's an object running, and it can start evading. Okay. Other things about it, I do want to say there's some ideas that LiDAR isn't safe for the human eye. LiDAR is absolutely safe. It meets the Class 1 eye safety standard that's been provided by the Food and Drug Administration. We know scientifically that any LiDAR above 1550 nanometer wavelength, it doesn't matter the power of it, because at that wavelength, the eye's cornea, lens, and aqueous and vitreous humors effectively absorb any wavelength greater than 1400 nanometers. We do know that Waymo is above 1400 nanometers. You might say, well, what about something below that? Well, there are some LiDARs like on the iPad that are below that, but even if they are below that, they're not using a power that's high enough to worry about for your eyes or anything like that. Okay, so what else do we have? Oh yeah, I also want to talk about this. Oh, this is, yeah, Waymo's driver's LiDAR, for example, is Class 1 laser product with the FDA certification system. So yeah, that's what I got for you. Hopefully that helps clear up some ideas about LiDAR here. That this notion that it doesn't perform well under adverse weather conditions. Well, camera doesn't, for one, and LiDAR performs better. The fact that, some people might think it doesn't have range. It actually sees out to 300 meters in a complete circle around you, which is better than what your eyes can see. And at nighttime, it's way better than cameras. It's definitely not bad for your eyes. So LiDAR is just absolutely a great way to go. And remember, when I'm saying this is the Waymo advantage because they have cameras, okay? And they absolutely have AI. As I demonstrated in another video, Google is using AI also. I mean, it's kind of silly that people don't think of that. They're like, oh, Google's only using, they must just be sitting there and having a human being react to this stuff and catalog it. No, they're using end-to-end AI, absolutely. But they're going ahead and they're tempering it with knowledge that they have preset rules, et cetera, et cetera. It's not quite as far along end-to-end as you would say Musk's model is. And Google actually released a paper on what they saw as the advantages and disadvantages of that concerning end-to-end AI utilizing large language models for self-driving. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. Have a great day. Thank you.